Hey,
What's
what's
up,
up,
man?
fellas? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, no, what's
Yeah.
your thoughts? Like I said, I don't know if you heard what I said, but my thing is, it's just two different things. Like, we know Bron better. And my thing is now what the media want to do, I'm going to let you go. But what the media want to do now is be corny. And when they want to use Steph as a weapon or a card to denigrate Bron, we're not about to
Yeah.
do that. What Bron
Yeah.
did is set in stone. This is just their time to give Steph his respect. That's all
Right.
I'm what I
I
want to
agree.
tell people.
So from my point of view, uh, Steph's legacy, I say it compares with LeBron. I don't say it beats LeBron at all, because what you said, he started at 18 in the league and been doing it for 20 years on a high level, 30 points a game. He's been doing it. And even though he had bad things here and there, he's always been consistent with his play. So you can't knock his legacy just because what Steph has done. But my thing is this: Steph has changed the game. Like I've been out of high school coaching. I coached last year, but before that I was out for 3 years. And I went back this year, and I just see that the game has changed so much to this fast paced shooting type game that it's kind of like Steph legacy. That right there kind of be like, do that give him the edge over LeBron just because he changed the game? Because
Mhm.
LeBron, don't get me wrong, LeBron been great in the Hall of Fame, of course, in the GOAT conversation and everything. But he didn't change the game. He
For
just
me,
done it the right way.
like I say, it's two different conversations, right? Because like I
Yeah,
say, we give Steph his credit for changing the game, but let's say the same thing. Wilt changed the game, and then
yeah,
Kareem, he changed the game. They
yeah.
outlawed Duncan because of him. So what I'm saying is, Iverson, to be honest, he even changed it for a little.
Yeah,
You
Culture
know,
and
he has
everything.
impact, culture,
Yeah.
Kobe, bringing things. So what I'm saying is, I think it's a difference between you're changing the game and then to two, what one actually did on the court. And what I mean by that is Kareem, he's starting to get forgotten, or even someone like Magic a
yeah.
little bit, or Bird,
Hmm.
they get forgotten. But like you have to look at what those guys actually did on the court too. And what I want to say is, if you want to put Steph above Bron, base it off what he did on the court. Don't do it
Okay,
because of the legacy.
I agree with you on that. So, okay, so to that point, well, who did Steph win his rings against?
No, he did.
You get what I'm
I'm not a
saying? So
hater.
like, so that gives a edge because this man was supposed to be the greatest man of my time. I'm talking about Steph Curry perspective. This man is supposed to be the greatest of my time. Well, my 3 rings that I won is against the greatest of all time.
Okay,
Yeah. And
so
then if he
let's
get
say
four,
an
they'd be tied for.
example,
And
right?
then to get four, they'd be tied.
Let's say an example like this, because we're talking about rings. And I want to make something that ready. Oh yeah, something plausible like this. Most people will probably say Bird is better than Kawhi, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm just
Yeah,
saying because of the
I
rings
mean,
and all that. But you could understand if someone may want to say, I'd rather have Kawhi on my team
yeah,
over Bird.
I like Kawhi. He number
But
four
yeah,
for me.
you
I
like
like
him,
Kawhi too.
but that doesn't change what Bird did on the floor to
Hmm.
even be considered top 10. And even Kawhi may be a top 20, 30 player. We wouldn't pick him over Bird. So, like I said,
Right.
I get what Steph did. And like I said, I'm a huge Steph fan. My favorite players in the NBA all time are Kobe and Steph. I
Me
can't,
too. Really.
and this is not about, even though Steph is the engine, Steph created a lot of the moments of why his teams were great. But I just look at how great Braun was and like the stuff it takes to beat that guy. You get what I'm saying? And
It
like you said
does.
it yourself, it's like he was always there in that discussion. Even though I think those finals runs are a little watered down, to me, in
Yeah.
my opinion,
It's like, yeah, it's like you the
the
best player you
fact
supposed to
that
be.
he was still able to do that, be dominant. You look at those numbers. Like somebody was saying, LeBron's 51. I think that was one of the greatest playoff performances I ever seen. Or someone was trying to say Jimmy Butler's,
Game 6.
Well,
yeah,
game
his
six,
game 6 was one of the greatest playoffs, right? I mean, playoff games, right? When he had that
right?
47 in game
Or
6.
Mm-hmm.
MVP, right?
But do we remember Bron's 45 and 15? You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or
Down
Bron's
two,
Yeah,
down
40,
3-2 in Boston, and you just lost to Dallas. Like they was
or
gonna kill him if you
Bron's
lost that game.
40, 18, and 9. Like, he got some crazy
Doug.
games. It's like,
he do.
God.
He do.
No, what about the Indiana? What
Yeah,
about the Indiana game where he had 40 points, 18 rebounds, and 9 assists, and
Yeah,
they was
that's
down
what I
2-1?
said.
Man,
I think
yeah,
I
he
looked at
does.
one game when they
Brian.
lost game 1 at San Antonio. He had like 18 points, 18 rebounds, and 10 assists
Yeah, I
in
remember. Yeah,
2013.
they was dogging him too.
Yeah, so it's like I think LeBron is just such a force of nature. And what I say it is like I look at the totality. I think rings and winning plays a part, but I look at 6'9", 260. You know, he really down and got to the point, ain't too many weaknesses. Of course, his jump shot is always the weaker part of his game.
But it's not a weakness anymore.
You want to force him to do that, but like someone say, force Luca left or whatever.
Right.
I forgot what his hand is. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
you
gonna just
can
do a
force
spin
him
move and
left.
dunk on your ass. Luka be
Yeah,
going
you
crazy.
can force him left. All that dude,
Right,
but
Luka
like
still
as
find a
good
way
as
to
the
get.
Warriors played him, he still averaged 34.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It ain't like
Luka.
they held him to 8. So I just think that like Steph's legacy, what he's going to do is if he's able to get 5, like I ain't gonna lie, if he keep piling these wins up, you got to put him there.
Yeah.
Hey, we still got
But
Kaminga
the
and
thing
Poole.
though is though, are people going to want to put him in there? Let's say he realistically gets to like 5 rings. You gotta look at who he bumping out now. I'm a Kobe guy, but Kobe's going to get bumped because you just look at
I
he didn't have those down years. Steph
yeah.
really he didn't have as many down years. That you get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you got to look at it too. He had an organization that's willing to build around him. He didn't have an organization that's putting Smush Parker and Chris Mim around him.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Steph ain't never not had it. He ain't
They
not had
had
a
one
not had a
year.
squad since.
They
Yeah.
had one bad year that they had to the only reason why they added Oubre last year is because Clay got injured right before
Yeah.
the
So
end of the
say
I
season.
like Oubre too.
So
Oubre
they
ain't like that.
quickly had to shift the team. But he really only had like one bad season. And then we didn't get to see him and D'Angelo play out that
right.
long. So that's why I say like LeBron, even though a lot of situations he had put himself in by sabotaging his team, making him trade young assets, like Draymond just said it. They said they wanted to get more experienced players. And the management told them no. They said, we're going to do it this way. And now their gamble took off. And now
That's
they
what you
even
need
better.
though. Yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like with LeBron when they be saying they want this player, like I
Yeah.
feel like I like LeBron, but they should just let the GM, let the GM do his job. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Like, but that's what happened.
all of the Warriors players that's popping, Kaminga and Poole and all of them was from the farm system. All of
Yeah.
them
yep,
was from their G League system. So I mean, it, and that's the scary part to me is with the Steph Curry thing. All his stuff was homegrown. He didn't have to go and get players as far as to win his championship. Everybody that was there was drafted
right,
there or was, like I said, G League or homegrown, but for the most part.
yep,
So it's kind of like
No.
that legacy of being able to stay with the Warriors and whatever the ownership do, being able to still win with it, it's kind of like
yep.
it's
Except
kind
for
of
that
tough
1 year, right?
to say like that don't take big leaps and bounds steps close to LeBron to me.
Yeah. I
Like
look at it like this. To me, it's a better Steph. You look at it like this for years. Remember how people compared Tim Duncan and KG, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, Tim Duncan has more rings, but because of KG's talent, a lot of people wanted to make it an argument
right,
between KG and Tim Duncan. But we just
which is
saw
no
Tim
argument.
be too dominant, be an anchor, and the success of what was put around him. And sometimes, like I say, you get mad because you like, damn, well, what if you had put KG with a Tony Parker and a Ginobili? I don't know.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I don't know. I just know how talented he was. I saw what happened when he had a team around him and he had Cassell
Cassell,
and what's the
Spreewell, and
dude
Zerbiak.
name? And
Spreewell and Zerbiak.
what's the other dude? Spreewell. When they had Spreewell and Cassell around him, he make a conference. You know, they #1 seed. He makes a run.
They only
So,
lost
like
to
I
I think they
say,
lost to the Lakers.
and then we saw, unfortunately, you saw what hurts KG, and this will let me know he had a good argument, is they won that ring in 2008. But I think this gonna trip you out when I tell people. If I tell you the record that they started out with in 2009, you would think I'm crazy. They started the season 29-3, right after
Oh,
winning the championship, and then KG gets injured. You get what
Against
I'm
the
saying?
Pistons. Against the Pistons, I
And then
remember.
they end up losing into Orlando in Game 7. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
those are the type of things that like you run into when you
As
you
a
you
Kobe
know
fan, I was like, man, I'm glad KG. I ain't gonna say glad KG ain't played, but I was like, man, we don't want to see Boston.
No,
man, I
But
wish
they had Bynum that year though.
Kobe did the right thing in getting Gasol, but I wish it was discussion of KG getting traded there. And I would have liked to see him,
Yeah, I would have took KG honestly
but
over.
KG got injured towards the end. That was just the only thing about it. So like I say, y'all don't know the legacy thing, man. Is cool. I like having these debates, but I want them to
Yeah.
have it and like how we're having it now. Not hating, not trying to make somebody better than the other.
Better than,
Really
yeah.
look at their career and analyze it all.
Right. For sure.
That
I just
going in,
wanted
how you
to,
looking at the finals? What's your predictions?